Welcome back to Battle for Arcos. As the war rages on, the Underhive begins to tilt. Entire sectors fall into shadow and despair. While the Lodge of the Damned faced off against the House of Skulls, HiSec was planning an attack on STARCH facilities. A successful mission would be a major blow to the Hive, but could bring a greater balance if the Corpse Grinder Guild was temporarily shut down. The Lodge of the Damned needs new recruits, however, and they know those close to the Corpse Starch facilities are merely a threat away from losing their sanity. In Episode 7, we join Captain Tex of HiSec as he comes face to face with his old nemesis.
Enforcers have mobilized against us. They bring weapons of destruction that will cut off our supplies. We must defend the facility. Send word for reinforcements.
Alright, men, listen up. We're going into Sector 2. The explosives you carry are fit for one purpose: the destruction of vital machinery that our scouts have identified. There are 3 in the sector, and our mission is to plant the explosives and defend them until they blow. We're in a fully functioning machine shop here, so be aware of the fumes. I expect resistance, so shoot to kill.
Alright, today we will be playing Manufactorum Raid. As Captain Tech stated, his team needs to plant 3 bombs at various points on the board. These are at least 16 inches away from the Enforcer starting area and 12 inches away from another marker. There are 2 smokestacks on the board, and on a roll of 3 up, they will emit some fumes and foul, flammable air that will block line of sight. It will cover a 6-inch area from that smokestack. A fighter will be able to execute one simple move unless they're equipped with a respirator, which nobody in this fight is. If hit with the Blaze Special Rule, it will count as +1 to strength. Victory for HiSec in this scenario is achieved if all the bombs go off or they eliminate the Lodge. Otherwise, the Lodge of the Damned will be victorious. In this game, we did play that you needed line of sight in order to charge. We will probably be reverting back to not needing that in future battle reports, but the Enforcers are ready to start their advance. They have a custom selection of 10 men on the battlefield. The Lodge of the Damned will start with 8 men on the battlefield, with the rest coming in as reinforcements at the end of turn 2. Priority rolls are going out for turn 1, with the Enforcers up first.
Double move. I'm taking position.
Blackout moves twice, and then Killsaw is going to go ahead and move and open this door with his second activation, just so they can have free movement and not have to open it later. Captain Tex activates next for the Enforcers, moving up with a double move behind the barricade. Jexera will then activate for the Lodge of the Damned with a double move up to the top of the platform. Blackout will then activate next. He will move, and then he's going to take a shot at Jexera with his bolter. He will need 5s to hit due to partial cover, and his shots will miss. Festermite then activates. He moves up behind the barricade with a double move, and then Deuce will activate for the Enforcers. He will move up and then fire at Jexera with his frag grenade needing 5s due to cover. It misses. An ammo check is required and fails. So that gun is going to be out of ammo. The shot is a dud. Nefarian moves next twice up to the middle of the board. R199 for the Enforcers activates next. He moves up the ladder and targets Nefarian with his bolter. It is an impossible shot, so he needs a 6 here. It does miss. Mephisto will then activate next, and he will move at the double up behind the furnace.
In the pipe. 5x5.
Smite activates, moving behind cover. Bale will then activate and move up the board with a double move. We will then flip back over to Shortline, who will move and then use his second action to open the small door. Corlock activates next for the Corpse Grinders. He moves up with a double move. Then Chief will activate next for the Enforcers. He will move up and target Festermite with his frag grenade. It will miss, and the shot will be a dud. Jurgoth moves up and takes a shot at Captain Tex, but he is out of range. The ammo check is okay. Roadblock then moves up and targets Jurgoth with his grenade launcher. He rolls out for heavy cover, needing a 6, and misses. We then flip over to Deadeye, who does a double move to get underneath the stairs, and that will bring turn 1 to an end. The turn saw the Enforcers move up the board to take better positions. They were pretty unfortunate on their shooting, but they did need high rolls in order for that to be efficient. A grenade launcher did run out of ammunition and will need to be reloaded at some point. The Corpse Grinders moved up the board on both flanks. They also positioned themselves in the middle so they could support both flanks, lending themselves to the terrain for line-of-sight blocking advantages. As we look forward to turn 2, it's still anyone's game at this point. Before we get there, however, both smokestacks did erupt, and the proper terrain will go out on the battlefield to represent that line-of-sight blocking smoke and fumes bellowing out of the smokestacks. Priority rolls are coming out now. Corpse Grinders are going to be up for turn 2. And first up for the Corpse Grinders is going to be Corlock. He's going to move into the alleyway protected by smoke on one side, getting a line of sight on the other. Next, R199 moves into position. We're counting this as difficult terrain. He rolls out his bolter, short range needing a 4, gets a hit, but fails to wound. The target is pinned, however. Then we move over to Bale, who will do a double move up to the doorway.
Scattershot engage.
Shortline moves into position and targets Corlock with his shotgun using Scattershot. It's a template weapon, so it automatically hits. The roll to wound does go through, and a save is made by Corlock, so he is okay, but he is going to be pinned. Nefarian then uses an action to stand, and he will move forward, getting behind some cover, also getting a line of sight to Shortline. Next up, Deuce will reload his weapon, and he will move forward 5 inches, up next to the smoke. And then Killsaw will activate. He will do a double move up the board. With line of sight limited, Deadeye repositions to get line of sight down the alleyway. Festermite will activate next, and he will move up into the smoke and get behind cover. Chief then activates, and he will move up just to the edge of the smoke. Check Sarah, technically in the smoke, repositions. Smite moves ahead into the smoke. Jerkoff moves around the side of the board to get behind cover. Bullseye then repositions himself inside the smoke. Mephisto moves into the smoke to avoid getting shot this turn. Then Blackout aims and with heavy cover fires his grenade launcher, and he's going to get a hit against Nefarian. A wound roll comes out and is good. Nefarian will have to take an armor save in which he will fail. So an injury dice will be rolled out and he will go down with a serious injury. That's our first of the game. Seeing this, Killsaw will then take a cool check and fail. He will run back 6 inches looking for cover. Roadblock will then activate for the Enforcers. He will move back to cover the doorway in case it opens. Tex will pass, and that brings us to the end of turn 2. So a good turn for the Enforcers this round with some good shooting. They got several pins. They got Nefarian down with a serious injury. The Corpse Grinders continue to push up the board and close gaps, but the smoke will play an issue. The Corpse Grinders will bring on 1 reinforcement. Urukai will be making his way onto the board. We rolled out injury dice, and Nefarian will stay down with a serious injury. Killsaw will recover from his broken status. We'll have to see what happens moving into turn 3. Priority rolls going out now. With smoke staying on the field, the Enforcers are up for turn 3, and Deadeye will turn to face Urukai, laying out shots with his bolter. He will miss, did not want a chance being in charge range. He will move out of line of sight. Bale will activate next, and in a surprise move, he will climb on top of the pillar. He will then launch out his Flensing Saw, which has a 4-inch range, and he will get a hit on R199. It will fail to wound, however. He needed a 3.
I'm moving in to take him down. Need 2 on a D3.
And with that, Shortline charges Nefarian and takes him out with a coup de grace. Killsaw then advances, puts Manstopper rounds into the auto pistol, and fires at Shortline, and he is going to get 2 hits with rapid fire. He's going to roll these out and get a wound. A save roll is rolled out for Shortline, and it is passed, so he is pinned. Tex passes a cool check to shoot at Bale and misses due to the evade special rule. Orokai then takes a double move and gets into position to hopefully charge on the next turn. R199 will take a chance here. He will get to his feet, and he will target Bale, firing out, and he will miss due to evade and also be out of ammo. Jexera will then move twice, trying to get out of all of the smoke. Roadblock will then move into position and fire at Bale. Due to short range with his stub gun, he will score a hit. It will fail to wound, however. Bale is pinned. So the Enforcers still feeling like they're getting the upper hand here. Smoke starting to play a major factor. We're going to see Corlock move next. He is going to get to his feet, and then he is going to reposition to try to get a charge off on the next turn. We will then see Bullseye move to the edge of the smoke. Festermite will use a move to get out of the smoke on the backside. Smite will then move up very close to the bomb objective. Jurgoth will then move out of the smoke, and he will shoot at Blackout. He will score a hit, but he will fail to wound. Blackout goes down, pinned. Chief will turn to face Orokai, aim, and fire his stub gun, and he's going to get a hit on a 6 that will convert to a wound. Orokai is going to have to take a save here, which he will pass with a 6. Next up, Mephisto moves outside of the smoke, hoping to get a charge on the next turn. Deuce will then move up into the smoke. Blackout then stands, and he will fire at Jurgoth. He will get a hit. He will roll out and fail to wound, however. Jurgoth goes down pinned. And that will finish activations for the turn. As we look at the round recap, the Enforcers are rolling extremely well. And for those of you that have seen previous battle reports, the Enforcers really struggle to roll. In this one, they are pinning and they are doing everything that they need to do to keep the Corpse Grinders at bay. So not a whole lot that the Corpse Grinders can do right now. They're having a very difficult time closing the window to get into close combat with these guys. The smoke is certainly playing to the advantage of the Enforcers right now. Raziel will be making his way onto the battlefield, and smoke will clear off of one of the towers, making that one vulnerable to sabotage, but also opening up some charges. A massive roll for priority for turn 4 is going out now, with a tie going to the Lodge of the Damned. So Raziel had to set up 6 inches away from Tex. He will announce a charge, and he is going to fail. He rolled a 1 on a D3, and just to show you how close that is, can't make this stuff up, he moves an inch away. Captain Tex will then turn and charge himself. He will throw out, getting 2 hits, and he will get 1 wound. An armor save is going to be made for Raziel, and he will fail. An injury dice is going to be rolled out, and he goes down with a serious injury, coup de grace by Captain Tex. Corlock then announces a charge into Bullseye. He cannot fail. He is going to swing with a heavy chain cleaver and a butcher's cleaver. All will hit. He will get 3 wounds that go through. An armor save can only be made against the regular butcher's cleaver. It has failed. And that's going to be 5 damage in total. Injury dice rolled out. Bullseye, coup de grace. Action continues to heat up as Shortline gets to his feet, fires his shotgun with scatter shot. He rolls a d6 and gets 3 hits under the template. That will convert to 1 wound. Killsaw will roll out a save and fail. Injury dice rolled out. He goes down with a serious injury. Now, I may get these rules wrong, so let me know in the comments below, but Bale will get to his feet with one action and use his Flensing Saw to hook down at Blackout, and I used his melee attributes because I thought this was a melee attack versus a shooting attack. So he's going to roll 2 dice. He will get 1 hit that will convert to a wound, and that will cut right through Blackout's armor. An injury die is rolled out. He will go down pinned with a flesh wound. Since that attack came from the back, his Assault Shield didn't do anything, but he will activate next, get to his feet, and Blackout's going to fire a grenade at Jurgoth and Mephisto. He's targeting the area behind them, which is still in cover, so he's going to need a 5. The shot will miss. We rolled a scatter die, and it only scatters an inch closer to them. Mephisto fails to wound. Jurgoth does take a wound. He will take a save and fail. An injury dice is rolled out, and he goes down with a serious injury. Blackout uses his second activation to move ahead. As we continue, Jaxera activates next, moves up and targets Shortline with the auto pistol. Shots go out and it does fail to hit. Next up, Roadblock is going to aim at Bale and he's going to completely miss as well. Festermite, not able to do anything with the smoke, will relocate for future turns. Then Chief moves ahead, pulls his stub gun, and fires at Orkai. A 6 will hit. A 6 will also wound. Armor save rolling out for Urukai, and it is also a 6. He is good. That will allow him to get up on his activation and move forward. R199 only has ammo in his stub gun, but he will shoot at Bale with the first action and miss. He is then going to use that second action to retreat back. Mephisto will activate, stand up, and move behind cover. Next up, Bullseye will move up through the alleyway. He will target Jaxera, fire, and miss. Killsaw will then make a crawling move. Deuce activates next, moves out of the smoke, and he will target Corlock. He rolls out and gets a hit with his stub gun. The roll to wound is successful. Corlock will have to take an armor save. He will fail that armor save and an injury dice is rolled out. He's going down with a serious injury. Jurgoth will then activate next and he will crawl as well. And then we will move over to Smite, who will move on to the bomb setting objective. So at the end of the turn, a bit of a disaster for the Lodge of the Damned. Raziel came onto the board, deployed just a little bit too far away from Captain Tex, ended up failing a charge and immediately taken off the board. The Enforcers did a great job getting pins, getting injuries, and continuing to hold the Corpse Grinders at bay. They are now threatening 2 objectives. The Corpse Grinders seem to have one bottlenecked up pretty well on the flank, however, with Bale kind of looming over the top. We'll have to see what happens moving into the final turns of the game. We have decided to allow bombs to be planted within the smoke when the smokestacks are active. The other smokestack did go active again, so both of those will be back on the board for the next turn. As far as injuries goes, we rolled for Jurgoth, and he went out of action there on the flank. Killsaw rolled back over with a flesh wound, and Corlock also rolled back over with a flesh wound. Priority rolls are coming out now, turn 5 on the horizon. The Enforcers will take the first activation, and Roadblock is going to charge into Orkai here, and I'm a little curious on the rules because he's not actually touching the pipe. He had enough to get around him, so we just both agreed that, hey, look, he had enough to get around, he can go around the pipe. He does roll out to hit, and he is only going to get 1 hit out of 4 swings, and that will turn into a wound, which is significant. Because Orkai is going to fail his save here, and we're going to roll out some injury dice. He's going to get coup de grace. Bale will activate next and move twice for reasons that we will discuss in the postgame. Feel like he's between a rock and a hard place. Shortline will then activate and fire his Scattershot shotgun template, and he will get both Killsaw and Jaxera underneath. 2 will roll out for Killsaw, getting wounds. 2 will roll out for Jaxera, getting 1 wound. And then they will take armor saves, and 1 will be failed by Jaxera. An injury dice will be rolled out. It is a serious injury. Killsaw is up next. He will stand and shoot at Bullseye, who is yet to activate. He will fire out with his auto pistol, however, he will miss. Bullseye will move next. He's going to move fire, targeting Killsaw. He fires, and he is going to get a hit. He's going to pass an ammo check. The wound rolls out. It does a wound, so Killsaw will have to make an armor save, which he does, and he will go down pinned. Next up, Festermite is going to move, and he's going to target Shortline. He's going to fire out with his auto pistol, and he is going to miss. Deuce will activate next for the Enforcers. He is going to move to the top of the stairs and target Corlock. He's going to roll out and get a hit. However, he is going to fail to wound. Corlock, sensing the danger, will then stand up, and he is going to try to move to get out of line of sight and out of range. Blackout, then in a potential mistake, is going to charge Bale first by passing a willpower check. He's going to swing with his assault shield and fire his stub pistol. He is going to get a hit with the assault shield, which it will turn into a wound. An armor save is going to be required from Bale, and he is going to pass. He is knocked back an inch, but he will get to react because his weapon is versatile. He gets 2 hits. Those hits are going to not turn into wounds on Snake Eyes. We were unsure if either of these fighters should be pinned, so we left them as is. Sensing the danger, Mephisto will emerge from the smoke. Next up, R199 is going to move forward and fire his stub gun down at Bale. He is actually going to pass a willpower check, and then he's going to roll out needing 5s, and he will get a hit. That hit is going to turn into a wound. Bale is going to have to make an armor save here, and he fails. Bale takes a wound, goes down pinned. Next up, Jexera is going to make a crawl move, and then Tex, who has the best willpower of everyone, is going to move into position, target Mephisto, and fail. I think that was a game-winning shot that could have went off and failed. Chief will activate, make a double move to lend support around the back, and a bomb will be planted by Smite, bringing the end of the turn. The Corpse Grinders have struggled a bit in this one. Bale was caught a bit in no man's land. If he moved one way, he would have got hit by a template shotgun. Another direction was difficult terrain. So he ended up moving twice and still did some damage because he was charged by Blackout, so it still panned out. The Enforcers, however, are controlling 2 objectives. A bomb was planted on one, they are standing on the middle, and the only place where they are kind of bottled up is on that one flank with Bale and Mephisto. Very tough to fight these guys because you do have to pass a willpower test to even get into combat with them. So we'll have to see what happens moving into some of the final turns of the game. To wrap things up, Jexera did roll back over with a flesh wound, and both smokestacks are still going for turn 6. Lastly, the bomb planted by Smite did detonate. He took a strength 6 hit, but did not take a wound. He will go down pinned. Priority rolls are out, with the Corpse Grinders up first. This is what they needed. As Mephisto charges Blackout, he gets 4 attacks in total. All but 1 will hit. He's working on a weakened toughness. And there will be 4 wounds that go through. 1 will be saved, but 3 damage in total. Injury dice rolled out, and he's out of action. Fearing the Flensing Saw, Tex passes a willpower test and shoots at Bale. He will get a hit, but he will fail to wound. Next, he will move back to try to get out of charge range on the next turn. Following up that, Corlock is going to announce a charge into the back of Bullseye. He is going to take 3 swings with his cleavers, and he is going to miss pretty miserably. Reaction attacks will come back across from Bullseye as he turns to face, and they will fail as well. Next up, Shortline is going to move behind some cover, and he is going to target Killsaw there on the ground. He is going to get hits. He will get a wound. And then an armor save is going to be thrown out for Killsaw, which is good. Next up, Killsaw will stand. He is going to fire back, and he is going to do an ammo check after that hit. He will get a wound, and the armor save from Shortline will be failed, so he is going to go down pinned with a flesh wound. Enforcers are starting to feel the pressure as Chief moves up and takes shots at Corlock. He does miss due to being engaged. Next up, Festermite is going to move, and he is going to fire into the back of Bullseye, and he is going to actually get hits. He is going to convert into a wound. There will be a failed armor save rolled out, and it will be a flesh wound against Bullseye. Next, Bullseye feels that he's in trouble, so he's going to go ahead and swing at Corlock. He's going to shoot with his stub gun, and he's going to get a hit. He is going to get no wound, however, so reaction attacks coming back from Corlock, which fail. Jexera gets to his feet, and he is going to fire at Bullseye, and he is going to miss due to the heavy cover. Next up, R199 is going to reload his bolter, but fail an initiative check to fire at Mephisto. Bale gets up, targets the rookie with his flensing saw, and misses. In finishing moves for the Enforcers, we're going to see Roadblock move up and take shots at Corlock. He will miss, however. We will then see Chief make a double move around the back, trying to lend support to the flank. Then we will see Smite get to his feet and move out of the smoke, trying to lend support to the center. That will bring us to the end of the turn. So just when you thought it was over, the game is really up in the air at this point. The Corpse Grinders have applied really good pressure on the flank with Bale and Mephisto. They've also got the center really locked up with Corlock in there and 3 Initiates. So this game could still go either way at this point. The Enforcers do have the numbers. Both teams will pass bottle tests. Both smokestacks will stay on, but it's going to be an interesting turn 7. Priority rolls going out now. The Lodge of the Damned win priority, and Bale will charge Tex. This is going to end up really bad, not even going to show the dice rolls. 5 damage, Tex is eliminated. Shortline then gets to his feet. He's going to attempt the template shot with a shotgun. We roll out a d6. There will be 3 hits with scatter shot, and the only result will be a pin. Next up, Killsaw is going to aim and fire back at Shortline. He is going to get hits. A wound will go through, armor save fails, and he is going to go down with a flesh wound. Next up, Smite is going to charge into Jaxera with weakened toughness. Due to that, he only needs to 2 to wound, showing that now the armor save has failed, and Jaxera takes another flesh wound, going down to 1 toughness. Reaction attacks come back across, but Smite makes an armor save. Killsaw will then announce a charge into the back of Bullseye, and he's going to take him down with the assist from Corlock. Next up, Deuce is going to aim and fire with his stub gun, and he is going to miss Corlock in the back. Corlock will then activate using this advantage to attempt to charge Shortline to take him out, but he ends up short. Roadblock then targets Killsaw with his frag grenade launcher, and he is going to get a serious injury when all the dice are rolled out. Next up, Jaxera will activate, and he's going to fight Smite, but Smite will make armor saves. Smite in reaction will then seriously injure Jaxera. There is no coup de grace due to this being a reaction attack. We flip back over to the Enforcers to see R199 firing his bolter, and he is going to miss. An ammo check does fail, so he will have to reload that weapon. Mephisto will then move back into the smoke to protect the objective. Chief will activate next. He will move and then attempt to fire at Bale, and he will fail a willpower test, bringing the turn to a close. End of turn steps. Both teams will pass bottle tests. Jaxera will bleed out and be removed from play. Killsaw will also go out of action. Shortline for the Enforcers will stay down with a serious injury, and one of the smokestacks will clear for the next turn. It's really still anyone's game at this point. It's hard to tell who is up or down. We do know that the Lodge of the Damned have had 6 members removed from play, whereas the Enforcers have had 4 members removed from play. Due to time and speed, we're going to show less dice rolls. We're just having a lot of fun playing the scenario to where we're really getting into it at this point. And turn 8 on the horizon, the Corpse Grinders will win the ever-important priority roll. Corlock will activate first for the Corpse Grinders, and he will charge Shortline, taking him out of action. Next, Smite will charge Festermite, and he will do no damage. And then Festermite is going to do some reaction attacks and actually seriously injure Smite, so Smite goes down. On the next activation, Festermite will coup de grace. Next up, Deuce is going to move and fire at Corlock. When the dice are rolled out, he is going to get a serious injury. Bale is then going to reposition and attempt to use his flensing saw on the rookie and fails. Chief moves to apply pressure on the flank. Mephisto will reposition for cover. Roadblock moves up into position and fires his grenade launcher. In what would be a long shot, he actually does get a hit, however, on Festermite. And Festermite rolls poorly on his save after a wound, and he goes down with a serious injury. This one was a big shot. R199 will reload and move away from Bale. And the Lodge at the end of the turn fail a bottle test. The Enforcers still doing okay. They rolled a 2, and I believe they have 6 men out now, so that's only an 8. They started with 10. So the Lodge does bottle. Festermite and Corlock will stay down with serious injuries. The Corpse Grinders are going to win priority for turn 9, and both smokestacks will light back up. With everyone passing cool checks to remain on the board, Bale moves up, and the intent was to use his Flensing Saw to try to reach out an additional 4 inches to hit Chief, but he is short. Next up, Roadblock will move with a double to get onto the bomb objective. Then we're going to see Mephisto relocate to try to get eyes on the middle. Next up, we'll see Deuce move on to the elevator and activate to go up top. And then we're going to see Chief take a risk here. He's going to pass a willpower check and get a hit on Bale. It does no wounds, but Bale will be pinned. R199 will then move down and also take shots at Bale. He will get an additional hit, but no wounds. Bale will remain. For the end of the round, Festermite is going to roll back over with a flesh wound, and Corlock is going to stay down with a serious injury. One of the smokestacks will be cleared for the following turn. So the Corpse Grinders are going to be in a tough spot with Bale being pinned. They will win priority for the following turn. However, when making cool checks on the bottle test, Festermite did fail, and he has been removed from play. Bale will stand up first, and he's going to throw out his Flensing Saw at R199 and cut him down. Next, we're going to see Deuce activate. He's going to move down to stand next to the objective with Roadblock. Mephisto is going to stay put because he wants to see Roadblock move, and that's going to happen as Roadblock does a charge into Corlock and takes him out. Chief is going to play conservative here, not wanting to chance a willpower check, so he is going to just move at the double away from Bale to get out of his charge range. And at the end of the turn, bottle test is passed by the enforcers. Cool checks and all of that are going to be good for all sides. Ones are rolled for priority by both sides, so the enforcers will get priority. That was going to be key here between Mephisto and Roadblock. So Roadblock will pass his willpower check, and he will get into charge range with Mephisto. He is going to miss wildly, however, and Mephisto is going to attack back with his heavy chain cleaver, doing a ton of damage. He is going to knock Roadblock down, and on his activation, take him out of action. Chief will then fire at Bale. He will get a hit. He will fail to wound, however, so nothing done there. And then the bomb will be set by Deuce. It will blow up. Thanks to his assault shield, though, it will not do any damage. That turn will quickly end, and the enforcers are going to fail a bottle test, so they're going to bottle out. Both sides have now bottled at this point, and while both the Corpse Grinders passed their cool checks to remain in the game on the following activation phase, the enforcers did not, and both of them bottled out. So the Corpse Grinders are actually going to end up winning this game. It has been a long game, and we are both exhausted. I can't begin to tell you how much fun we had in this game. It was really out and back. Felt like the enforcers were on top for the majority of the game until things just really started to go wrong there in the middle. And obviously, I played the enforcer, so I made some tactical mistakes. I've got to learn from that, maybe watch Static Elf a few more times to get some more tips, but these guys do not need to be in combat in any shape or form against the Corpse Grinder cult. So totally understand that now. I probably gave that game away, but we had a ton of fun playing it. Highly recommended, and hope you enjoyed watching it with everything that we probably got wrong. So if you have any comments, please leave those down below. Appreciate your likes, appreciate your views, and all the feedback that you've given me. And we're going to continue making Necromunda episodes, and we'll see you next time.